dangerous areas around here that are not part of any tours.
Enjoy our visit here.
How's it going? I'm really glad you're helping us out. Power systems all look as good as they can be for now. Thanks again for your help.
those stupid tours, make sure to follow the rules. They're for your own safety and my sanity. I bought it from a private seller. They said they got it from someone who wore it in a secondary school as their sports team mascot. I guess it was supposed to be a tardigrade or something. Anyway, the person I bought it from modified it a bit so they could use it in an independent movie they were making. But I guess that went nowhere, so they had to sell it. Lucky me, I suppose. Oh, I'm glad it worked. I'm just happy I was able to find someone willing to help with this ridiculous idea. Tell you what, if you want to come back later and do this for me a couple more times, I'll even let you keep the costume. You wouldn't believe how many off-worlders think hiking the surface of Titan is all fun and games. Try to be careful out there.
Welcome to New Homestead.
Come to New Homestead for the history. I'll be here if you need. Hey there! Hope you... Excellent! You won't regret it! My tours are one of a kind! Now, there's just the matter of price. The going rate for a genuine StarSap tour is only 100 credits! Well... 100 credits is very reasonable, I think. That's okay! This... Same here. I get the feeling. Sorry, but that's the price, and I'm not willing to go. Well... True. I heard you the first time. Sorry. Have a good one. Do you want to know what life was like for the early... You're back! Well... I know, I gotta work on my pitch a little. Maybe I could give you a discount just this once to prove my tour is worth it. I'm not an unreasonable person, you know. Tell you what, I like you. This one's on the house, but if you enjoyed the tour, I'd really appreciate if you'd tell all your friends about me when it's done. So let's get this show on the road, eh? All right, so this is New Homestead's main concourse. This underground area didn't exist when the original outpost, Titan Astrobase, was finished in 2130. Follow me. We'll come back here by the end of the tour and talk about the museum collection. But first, let's go see where people live. Now remember, these people aren't actors. They actually live here, so try to be respectful of that. While the original inhabitants of the Titan Astrobase lived in pods like you saw up above, they transitioned down here when this section of the base was finished in 2144. Space is extremely limited, so you'll notice some overflow here, but more residences also exist on lower levels, which are inaccessible to tours. I'll stop at each of our destinations if you want to look around, or if you have any questions for me. Have any questions so far? I'm not sure the exact count, but New Homestead is a fairly small colony. What you see is what you get for the most part, except for some other people who live in the private lower levels. Some, particularly security, and yours truly, even commute from other worlds. The original Titan Astrobase had more habitation pods on the surface connected to some of the old structures you may have seen in the back. As the colony grew, the base was expanded underground, and those hab units were recycled into materials used down here. Sadly, it's difficult to get additional construction done inside these underground caverns. So for now, additional populations are housed in these stacks of old shipping crates. As you might expect, this is where some of the less wealthy can afford to live. It's not glamorous, but they are functional and cozy. Oh, sure, I'll be here waiting.
You'll never catch me!
Have any questions so far? Alrighty, we'll be taking the residential elevator to the farms area on the surface level. This way, please. Let's leave these good people alone for now and go check out the farms. Follow me up the elevator.
We live a simple life on New Homestead, but make no mistake, it's fulfilling.
If you need medical attention, see Dr. Lakota. But a word of warning, she really doesn't care for tourists.
This is a boring assignment, but let's keep it that way.
It's a little weird that people come here to see what early colony life was like.
My daddy
Me,
says
it's
farming is
just
really
how we
important.
live.
But I kind of want to do other things.
New Homestead's farms are the beating heart of the colony. Without them, the original outpost would have shriveled and died. These pods are sealed and climate controlled, the perfect environment for growing the hydroponic vegetation needed for survival in the early days of the colony.
Papa, you're always talking about how important it is to preserve our traditions. Why do we have to farm? How do we preserve our tradition?
Any questions about the farms?
That's what our ancestors did on Earth.
Good question. It's largely the same, because this was the colony that pioneered the techniques you see elsewhere. But you'll notice that the farms here are smaller and staffed by humans, not robots. Things here are a little more old-fashioned compared to some of the large factory farms you'll find elsewhere in the settled systems.
How is it a tradition if it's not the same thing as they did?
These days, it's a mix of what you find elsewhere in the galaxy, but in the olden days, it was all brought over from Earth. It was a lot of hardy root vegetables like potatoes, carrots, beets, and such, supplemented with corn, peas, green beans, soy, etc., which didn't always grow as well. Oh, they are indeed. Colonists still cultivate plant-based food for their own consumption here in New Homestead. It's less vital to their survival these days, as they also import supplemental food from other colonies, including meats, dairy, and synthetics. However, most citizens here take pride in a New Homestead-grown, sustainable diet. Onward it is! We'll be stopping by the Brown Horse Tavern later in the tour, which uses many of these locally sourced ingredients in their cooking. But for now, it's just a short way to our next stop. Follow me! So, the old biolabs are just on the other side of this building, believe it or not. We'll step on through the hallway there. They're not in use anymore, but the colony has faithfully recreated them as a historical exhibit, true to the original purpose of the Titan Astrobase. Sadly, they're undergoing some light renovation. Otherwise, there'd be interactive activities for kids to learn about how they used to search for microbial life here.
For God's sake, drop some of that rubbish already.
Pardon the dust, but I can still answer some questions about the old Titan Astrobase biolabs. Oh, I'm sorry. I completely forgot to mention that. That's what this place was originally called. When NASA divested its interest in the Astrobase and turned it over to the people back in 2185, they renamed it